Welcome, Illumineers and fans of the happiest card game on Earth. I'm John T, and you're in the Inkwell. This is part 2 of our 3-part series taking a look at the starter decks for Disney's Lorcana, the first chapter. Up to bat today is the Emerald Ruby deck, headed up by Cruella DeVille, Miserable as Usual, and Aladdin, Heroic Outlaw. This deck is all about holding board control with thematic characters that are hard to hit and directly removing or even stealing your opponent's hard-won lore. We'll be taking a look at some of the packages in the deck, some of its core concepts, and how it wants you to play it. Of the 3 starters, this one is the most mid-rangey of them all, where most of your value is going to come out of questing with characters that your opponent will just have trouble dealing with. First of all, let's take a look at the box characters. We have a majestic looking Aladdin here, a 7-costed inkable 5/5 for 2 lore with the classifications Floodborn and Hero, Shift 5, and Daring Exploit. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you gain 2 lore, and each opponent loses 2 lore. At super rare rarity, there is only a single copy of this in your deck, so you're not going to be completely relying on it. But if you can set this one up, even just getting a single challenge off him is going to get you some serious value, removing something from their side of the board and giving you a 4-way lore swing. Luckily, he's pretty easy to shift out due to the number of smaller Aladdins that come in the deck. 2 copies of Aladdin Prince Ali, and 3 copies of Aladdin Street Rat. Prince Ali is a great shift target because until you're ready for Heroic Outlaw, he's very difficult to get rid of. You can leave him set back with that ward ability, and there's pretty much nothing your opponent can do about it. And Aladdin Street Rat is great because you get that lore drain off him as he enters. So whilst I certainly wouldn't keep a Heroic Outlaw in my opening hand, I would definitely keep any of the smaller Aladdins that you pull with a hope of drawing into Heroic in the mid to late game. Also on the box, Cruella DeVille. She's a 2-costed inkable 1/3 for 1 lore, storyborn villain, Miserable as Usual. She has the ability You'll Be Sorry. When this character is challenged and banished, you may return chosen character to their player's hand. Cruella DeVille isn't really here as part of a combo, but she is a great signpost for what a lot of the Emerald cards in this deck are going to want to do, which is just quest out and be difficult to deal with. Whether that's just difficult to hit with evasive, such as Peter Pan Never Landing, giving a tempo shift on their quest, such as Jasper with this ability whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character can't quest during their next turn. It's very strong. Or just making the opponent give you an advantage for dealing with them, such as Mad Hatter. Whenever this character is challenged, you may draw a card. So you're out there playing your shift target Aladdins and your quest and come and deal with the Emeralds. There's a possibility though that your opponent can still outpace you, and that's where the lore stealing package comes in. Steal from the Rich is a 5-costed uninkable action. Whenever one of your characters quests this turn, each opponent loses 1 lore. This card is obviously insane in multiplayer, but you can still get some good value out of it in a 1v1. As it's already been shown, a lot of your evasive and Emerald characters in this deck are just going to want a quest. See if you can get 3 or 4 of them on the board and turn them sideways after playing this. Not only are you gaining a huge lore advantage, you're draining your opponent of 3 or 4 as well. And in these slightly clunkier starter deck games, that can really make all of the difference. Couple that with Rapunzel, and as we've already mentioned, the 2 Ruby Aladdins, and any progress your opponent does make is going to be instantly squashed. Sometimes though, you do have to take a moment away from your game plan and deal with whatever your opponent's doing. There isn't much targeted removal in this deck, but what it does have is very good. 3 copies of Dragonfire. Banish chosen character. It's a 5-costed card, but it has 0 caveats. This thing just kills whatever you need it to kill, and at 3 copies you're most likely going to be able to find one as you play. Other than that, any character removal is going to have to come in the form of banishing through challenges. There are 2 copies of Captain, 3 copies of Rapunzel, and then various combat tricks. Stolen Scimitar, he's got a sword, Vicious Betrayal, and Stampede for closing out the challenge. This deck's biggest weakness is outside of Mad Hatter, there is 0 card draw, and you're going to be wanting to play whatever's in your hand for that board presence. So you may well find yourself in a top deck situation quicker than your opponent. But still, being being able to put your opponent on the back foot with the difficult challenges, and with how strong Evasive is in this limited format, this deck has a very good chance of getting you to victory. In a later video, we'll be talking about souping this up and what I would bring in and take out to make it viable in the organised play scene. Thanks so much for watching. I've been Jonty, you've been in the Inkwell. Till the next one, be good.